Welcome to the T-Bird Zone, shown every week on SUTBirds.com and SUUnews.com. I'm Kyle Cottam, and we're here in studio with head football coach Ed Lamb, giving a recap of the game against UNLV last weekend. And Coach, the last 3 games, the team has won by more than 3 touchdowns, at least 3 touchdowns. Is there a concern that perhaps maybe the team is peaked a little too early? Or are there still things to be worked on as the season progresses?
I've never considered whether a team peaks in the sport of football too early. These guys train all year round for 11 precious opportunities, and they want to play as well as they can in every game. I don't know of any way to gauge whether a team is peaked until after you begin to lose some games after winning. And so I think maybe that would be an assessment for the end of the year. I've never heard a football coach be concerned with peaking.
Is it a matter of then just 3 successful game plans that just played out as the coaching staff anticipated?
No, it's a matter of having we're better than our last 3 opponents. And on any of these games, you can take our coaching staff and put them on the other sideline. We could have stood on UNLV's sideline, and their coaches could have stood on our sideline, and our players would have still won.
Really the story of the game at UNLV was a plethora of turnovers. That's how Neil Gardner put it in his article. UNLV had 3 interceptions, 4 fumbles. They lost 2 of those fumbles. The interceptions, particularly costly, as all 3 are run back for touchdowns. What was it about the defensive scheme going into that game that generated so many turnovers?
I wouldn't say it was the scheme, not primarily anyway. I think our defensive coaches did a great job and took away some options there from UNLV. We said going into the game, if we could shut down the run, force UNLV to throw, then we felt like that we had some advantages, and our defensive line did a great job. We shut down the run enough and then got a lead there early in the second half, and UNLV was forced to throw, and once it became that kind of a game, our defensive line really dominated. We have 5 sacks, a lot of quarterback pressures, and 2 of those sacks resulted in fumbles that were also recovered by the guy who got the sack. Cody Larson and Tyler Osborne both had sacks, which resulted in fumbles, and then they recovered the fumbles.
There's talk amongst the community that this was really kind of a trap game for UNLV, having beaten Hawaii handily the week before, facing an FCS school, that the anticipation among student body alumni, if it's an FCS school, they should be beating this team by 20-something points. Do you think that also led to UNLV feeling like they had to pass the ball more because, now we're down, we need to light these guys up?
It's possible. It's hard for me to gauge what their approach would be mentally, especially what their players' approach would be. A few weeks ago, we had a big win against Sacramento State and then played a lower-level opponent in Texas San Antonio. And I talked to our players about how people would maybe make the comment that it would be a trap game or could be a trap game. And I said, I have no idea what that means. And I think it's a testament to the character, the maturity of the players, the team. And our team didn't succumb to the trap game. And if theirs did, if they somehow had a mental breakdown, then that's something that they'll have to work through, the maturity on their team. But the maturity on our team is very strong.
And we already addressed this. Could it also have been UNLV has Nevada-Reno on the schedule next week? Could it have been maybe an overlook where the coaches or the players are really amped up for that Nevada-Reno game, the in-state rivalry game, that we have Southern Utah, but Nevada-Reno is the game we're getting amped for?
It's possible. Again, that's speculation, but I'll just make it really clear because it seems like you're on the question twice here. If we play them 10 times, we beat them 10 times.
Good. That'd be a good quote. The three pick sixes, Blake Fenn, a 22-yard return, Aaron Vonner, a 74-yard return, Nick Witzman, 35-yard return. Blake Fenn seemed like he was all over the field. 9 total tackles. Maybe talk about his performance individually in that game.
Blake had his normally very productive game. The interception was huge. It was tied coming out of halftime. First play of scrimmage for UNLV. No doubt about it, if UNLV, if their players at all overlooked us, certainly at halftime they had an opportunity to look at a tie scoreboard and come out with great intensity in the second half. And here they are, first play of the half, and they go down by 6 points with Blake's fumble interception return. It was just a huge play. He was all over the field. Herman Sword also had a great game at linebacker.
The fumbles we talked about earlier with Cody Larson, Tyler Osborne, both forced by sacks. Cody Larson had 6 total tackles, Tyler Osborne 5 total tackles. Was there a particular, again, I used scheme before, but I mean, was there a lot of twists at the line that created those sacks, or was it just stronger guys beating the offensive line?
All of our sacks were just clean, clear moves, one-on-one, offensive tackle or offensive guard against one of our players, and our guys just beat them. I think our coaches did a nice job of getting matchups, and on Cody Larson's, a lot of his pressures, we lined him up at the defensive end position, and he was able to take advantage of that. But again, it's primarily about better players.
The second half, first half it's 10-10 going into halftime. Second half is really where the game was blown open. Were there adjustments at halftime that led to that, or was it just better conditioning? Why such a big shift in that second half?
I think conditioning is definitely part of it. We had the stronger football team, and they were willing to play longer and with more and exhibit more strength in the way that they played and more energy and more effort. I think that's definitely part of it. Also, our offensive line at halftime made it clear to us that they felt like they could run the football. And we didn't have great offensive numbers coming out of the game. First reason for that was a pretty poor first half, some drop passes where we didn't get a chance to stay on the field, some uncharacteristic inaccuracy from our quarterback. But by the end of the game, because our defense had 3 interceptions for touchdowns, that means the defense goes right back out on the field. So our offense missed a lot of opportunity to just be on the field. We only had 60 plays of offense, which is a really, really small amount. Typically, in today's game, you're getting 90 plays of offense. So a poor first half, and not very many plays on the field. I really felt like our offense turned it on and put up some great numbers, especially considering the number of times they were on the field in the second half.
Does the amount of time the defense played on the field, again, I was traveling with the volleyball this weekend, so I wasn't able to catch the game myself. Was there a lot of substitutions, and how does that translate into the depth of the team on the defensive side of the ball? We
have better depth every week. We, a couple of weeks ago, I took some heat for putting our 2s in a little early against in the Texas-San Antonio game, and we gave up some scores, and we didn't move it on offense very well. But in a game like that, in the heat, on the road, at UNLV, particularly for our defense, we had players in the game and out of the game all game long. And we actually played with our second defense against their first offense for the last 3 series of the games and only gave up 1 score. So our 2s are definitely getting better and more game experience. They have plenty of talent, plenty of athletic ability. They just needed that game experience, and they're coming a long way.
Again, a great performance at UNLV last weekend. Alumni, students, everybody's really juiced about the team. So congratulations. Again, that final score is Southern Utah 41, UNLV 16. Join us in the next segment where we will be previewing the North Dakota State matchup this Saturday at Eccles Coliseum.